Hey, what's up, man? I sent you the link. If you're around, you can jump in. Good morning, guys. It's Shaggy. I need lots of coffee this morning. I'm 30 minutes behind. It's crazy. Getting my stuff all set up here. It's tiring, man. How's everybody doing this morning? As always, welcome to Coffee with Shaggy in the morning. Liven up the day, get you started. And hopefully the gang comes by. I got the link out there. Frank, he hasn't been on here in a while. I don't know where he's been. He's got stuff going on. I think he said he's turning it up a notch. I don't know. Charles came by yesterday. If you guys want to jump in, just send me a message, share the live, put it out there, let you guys know. We do these meetings in the morning, just kind of like you're sitting around a round table, because we're all one man. Like we're one show, we're one person, we're one trucking company. And even if we have 5 or 6 trucks, sometimes we're still one. And you got to be the leader of one. You know what I mean? You're the boss. You have to run the company. But I wanted to come on early this morning. I know everybody's still waking up at 7:30 Central Time and freaking 6:30 and 5:30 out in the other areas. Guys are growing and coming in. I'm completely exhausted this morning, man. I did an in person yesterday with Terrence. He's got 9 trailers and trucks and all these different things going on, and invested the wrong way, has to work the other way. And it's crazy. And then we got Pierre that's coming in. He's got a 30-day timeline before he opens his authority. He's got 3 owner operators ready to come on, and he has to be able to get the freight for them before they start. It's freaking crazy, man. All this stuff going on. Good morning, guys. And the more and more I start to think about it, I wanted to come on this morning and talk about my webinar coming up on Sunday and the 6 steps that are going along it. And then even in general, I'm comparing that to my own current business that I have, right? The brokerage, the compliance. I'm doing consulting. I'm doing in-persons. I'm working on the webinar to help carriers because I know they need it. And then I'm trying to bring the dispatching back, and I'm working with this person, that person, trying to get them to listen. And, with me, when I do dispatching, I forgot about how much work it is. Like, I'm not really, like, I understand the network and stuff, but being able to really get in and focus because, there's 2 styles of dispatching. One dispatching is where you just get on there, you play with C.H. Robinson, you play with TQL, and, and these big brokers, and the first 15 guys tell you how they won't use new carriers. And then you start seeing these guys where they post Chicago to Illinois or Indiana. Well, it doesn't fucking tell the brokers nothing. It doesn't tell you anything. So then you got to start building lanes. You got to start making calls, and I've been doing this so long. Like even a lot of you that watch videos or see me or know me, you've seen me dispatch over the years. You've probably been dispatched by me over the years. Some of you guys have even know that are in my group have even been my owner operators. And I pre-plan. I book loads. I look at averages. I look at numbers, 7-day plans. And, I had a guy named Kenneth Mayo call me. He drove for me in like 2011. And, and the more and more now with all the fraud and stuff that's going on, I see more and more mistakes that people make because of the time it takes to really devote to build this stuff. Do people really want to do it? Like my own dispatchers aren't even done. They say they are, but I know they're not because I can see their postings. I can see they're putting it out there. And that's my problem too. Like when you run a business, and you have employees or people working, you want it done your way. But when you can't focus 100% on the problem, how can you get it done your way? Like with me, I got appointments at 10. I got the webinars I want to keep doing because I think people like having coffee in the morning. I think people like having people open up different avenues and different things that we have going on. And so when I'm sitting here watching Kathy and Allie do the compliance and Isaiah and William and Dan do the brokerage, And now we got the dispatching, and we're looking at all these carriers that want to grow, but finding those pieces to be able to dispatch. Because, if you go hire a dispatching service, you go hire dispatching services, they're booking for percentage, they're running all over the place. They really don't focus on getting customers and really focus on making a second call and network. I'm telling you, I even see it with the team I have right now, and they can argue with me all fucking day long, but it's really not happening because to actually sit and focus on something and take the time to be able to build a network, and you get caught up. You have to. I mean, I see it right now, and it's like I get it. So when I'm talking to these carriers and I'm looking at like Parade AI and all this stuff, you can only use so much software at one time. I remember when I dispatched, I used to have truck stop on one screen, DAT on the other. All of it was posted. My phone calls are coming in. Now I got e-carrier check on there, and I can look at brokers that aren't in there. And so I wonder how many people find brokers that aren't on DAT that are on e-carrier check. That there's thousands of them. And how many do you call and actually try to network with people that aren't on the load board to let them know you have problems and what you really need? Like, what freight do you need? Like, what lanes do you really need? Are you just going anywhere? Or what do you need in volume? Are you calling them every day, or are you just going with what you think they'll use so you can get it done quicker? And then you're coming up with their fucking excuses. Well, I don't know why I only did $4,000 that week. That's all they got out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm working real hard. The market's really bad right now and stuff like that. Well, other people are moving freight. Fuck, the other day we are sitting in there, a trucking company came in and a broker told me about great rates that you have to have a year in business hauling Samsung out of Chicago. But you're not going to find that broker on DAT, but you can find it on e-carrier check. But why would I go to e-carrier check and fucking do all this work? I mean, holy cow. If I actually have to, I'm doing packets, I'm just drama. I got to hear all the problems of the carriers. People are going this is happening. I mean, how do I have time to network? You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. But if you're using people that you're working with that aren't networking for you, and I'm that problem right now. Like I got carriers that want me to work for them, and I'm trying to consult, train, do compliance, and I can book the loads, but then taking the time to do all the paperwork, and so for last 2 years, 3 years, I've been training and talking about this, and it's not that I can't do RMIS. It's not. It's not that I can't do RMIS and do this stuff, but like really, I get the focus part of being able to do all these packets, do the paperwork with the security and stuff, and then still building the lanes. You have to build them. You go on here and you look. Carl, so that's a good Yusuf. That's a great question. So, like to me, whether it's car hauling, whether you're doing whatever type of niche it's doing, they all have different forms of the market. Unless you're in a contract where you got work for the next 10 years and it's set in stone at a rate, or the next 2 years, everything else is the same. Me and Frank talk about it all the time. You have different markets, you have different seasons, you have things when it's up, when it's down, and some freight's dictated by how much we eat. Some people is dictated by how much construction we do, or this and that. But how many people ever take the time? How many people? Because you got brokers that are just brokers, and then you got carriers, brokers that customers, and brokers that are asset based brokers, right? Asset based. That means you have trucks. If you guys would go on e-carrier check right here, and you guys would start looking find brokers right here, you can go in and find them by experience. You can find them with assets or no assets. Well, I mean, if you're willing to go to the next level, and these carriers right here that are grandfathered in that have assets or brokers and stuff, and you're willing to do the work, the brokers that you're looking for that have the better freight are right here on this thing. But see, the problem is researching. The problem is researching. This is what I'm trying to tell people. So I got this webinar coming up on Sunday, August 13th from 2 p.m. to 8:30. And we're going to talk about restructuring the trucking company as a new one or as one already in. And why did you do it? What kind of equipment? What is your niche? Where are you going to get the equipment? And then how are you going to grow your business and cover diversity? when things happen, and because you haven't been doing it now, or why should you change to cover diversity? Number two, I should change it around and then do understanding cost and setting up the business, and then I should go into how to find the freight using e-carrier check and load boards, and then what to do with why a brokerage is important, and then what to do with the customers when you get them, because these are the 6 things that we need to understand that we're not doing, whether it's car hauling or if it's flatbed, step deck, oversized, even box truck sprinter vans. My buddy Mike Quindo, he'll tell you he uses my posting with direction, and he's making killer money with his box trucks, and he has other people doing it too. But that's his niche, and he networks. And he networked when it was a little more volume, so now he's got relationships, even though half the people out there don't even see or even think a relationship is around no more. How many calls are you making to find them, though? And when you do call, are you one way or are you educated? You know what I mean? There's Mike right there. Ask him. He'll tell you right now in the chat that he uses it. And if Mike wasn't a little show like he had and he was out of the truck, ask Mike how much more he would use it. And he would, and there's other stuff that Mike ain't even touched yet to network with to even make himself bigger, because he still has to work. And he's only one size. I still think the biggest problem right now in the industry is education, time management, and how many fucking hats can one man wear, because I am wore out running my business, like trying to sell compliance, help my wife with a martial arts school, get myself turned around in my own business from the economy changing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mike gives me shit sometimes because I beat up on box trucks all the time. He's like, Shaggy, remember, I'm the box truck guy that did what you said, and I'm making money. Just so you know, I'm making money. He reminds me every time he catches a video when I beat him up. And I'm like, you're right, Mike. Because in any business, my Yusuf, my training charges, I just charge $100 an hour for one-on-one. $100 if you come to my office an hour. You can do 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever. And my webinar that's going to be 8 hours. Well, it'd be from 2 to 8:30 on Sundays. And then I'm not crying, brother. Nicholas, I'm not crying. I'm just tired. Um, uh, I'm just tired because I'm trying to juggle a million things and help all these people make money. I am getting to work. Shoot. In about 30 minutes, I got trucks to cover in person at 10 o'clock today. So I charged $300 for the new webinar coming up. I didn't want to make it pricey or nothing. Just something simple. It's like $50 an hour. I'm going to put 10 people in there. I got 5 already. I'm not going to add no more than 10 because I don't want a big group, and I'm not trying to blow it up. I just wanted to come and do 6 topics with 4 points. What's up, Tom, Nicholas? How are you guys doing? Welcome, share. I just wanted to build something. So I'm taking all the experiences from these new businesses, and I'm not building a trucking company. I'm not building a brokerage. I'm not training people on dispatching this webinar. There's 6 subjects, 4 topics. Like on brokerage, we're going to talk about why you're not going to make money right off the back, why it's so hard to build credit, and a few other things. Just 4 bullet points that doesn't have nothing to do with what you're already doing. The stuff that you didn't do, stuff that you should have did. And then it's going to open up your mind. And really, what you're going to do in that webinar is you're going to fucking write it down. I'm going to tell you what it is. You're going to write it down. So when Yusuf and William and Nicholas come back to me again in a while, they go back to their notes. Like Nicholas. Nicholas has been following me forever, and me and him talk a lot. And he has a plan with his wife to be able to have the freight lined up when he opens his authority when time's right. And he's doing it the right way. See, Yusuf, I think all the markets are the right way. So, but it depends. Are you on the load boards? I mean, you're always going to be on the load boards, right? But how are you using the load board? Are we posting with direction? Are we looking for volume and lanes? And then when we get those lanes, are we willing to switch over and start working them and add more to it? Or are we just going to keep going everywhere? See, you know, every market's the same. It's just how you work it, and then it has up and downs. So every market, from cars to freight, has the snowbird season. When you go into cars and you go to my buddy Jay at Auto Transport Intel, he has one of the best shows on YouTube. If you haven't caught it, it's like Tuesday nights, him and Ty. They're the car hauling gurus, Auto Transport Intel. Check it out. on YouTube. Those guys are the bomb. There ain't nothing you can't find out in the car industry on those guys, from dispatching all the way up. There's no one better than those guys, Jay and Ty. But every industry is the same. If you don't understand the niche, you don't understand the products, you don't understand the process. Everybody wants to haul Samsung, but you got to have $250,000 in business. And really, they want you to be in business for a year because it's such high risk. You know what I mean? Does it mean you can't get in there through a broker? Nope. I'm just using DAT load board, but loads are not paying. Yeah, so like whenever you're on the load board, there's so many different ways to do it. So if we're using the load board and we're always going one way, so one way means every load I have, I'm always going next. So like if you come in my office yesterday, I was doing some posting and stuff. Every call I have, one, I'm specifically doing it. So like if you go to my load board right now, I'm working on some trucks, and you go to my load board right now, I'll show you. It's right here. And I got, let's go, posted truck. All right, we'll just go to posted. Oops, wrong one. Yep. Nope. All right. Let me go back to the other one. I think I still got them up on this one. That's the one. I use more than one at the time. I like to have 3 or 4 up at a time. So if you look right now, I'm working on a guy from Minerva, Cincinnati. I got a Birmingham. So I'm doing Cincinnati, Indianapolis. I started building the searches. So I don't need these lanes right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Cincinnati to Indianapolis, because the guy lives in Cincinnati and he wants to stay in a 300-mile radius. So my goal right now is to find loads that pay, try to get 2 loads a day that go from Cincinnati out, that deliver same day straight through, and then pick up another load and come right back. So the only way to build that and to do that is to build lanes. So I'm going to refresh, because I haven't had a chance to this morning, and I'm going to add more lanes in there right now. So I'm going to do, so I got a guy in Birmingham and I got a guy. That's all right. Everybody has a matter of opinion, right, Nicholas? You know, some people do, some people don't. Some people like doing the same thing all the time, get a paycheck. Sometimes like people like chasing it because they can go wherever they want, do what they want. And if stuff happens, they chalk it up. I get it. That's a matter of opinion for each people. Most of the guys that I'm talking to right now would love to do 1 to 2 loads a day, stay in a 300 to 400-mile radius, go home during the weekend, on the weekend, and make as much as they can. I get it, right? Right? So when you're building lanes, and if you noticed on all my posts right here, they're not one day. Every one of my posts are out 2 to 3 months at a time in that lane, and I'm refreshing them at 8, 4 noon. So some days I might only get 20 calls. Some days I might get 40 calls, but I'm not, I don't use the highest rate per mile shit on that. I don't care about that. Why do I got to put the highest rate per mile shit on that? All I do is put them in order by date, and I start calling every broker that has a load in that lane, and I ask. And if I find an account rep, and then I try to get past the account rep to the actual broker. When I get to that broker that actually sells the freight, because sometimes we get caught up with the wrong person we're talking to, and we lose the opportunity to get anywhere. We have to actually go past that person. We have to go past that person and tell them what. Because, like, if you're dealing with a broker and everybody in that brokerage, you ask them, where do you put your freight? They're like, oh, we put it on the load board. Well, you don't want a broker like that anyways, because remember, there's really 3 kinds of brokers. There's one broker that really all they give a fuck is the cheapest rate all the time. They put it on the load board. You see them all the time. You can't even understand the guys. And half the time, they're not going to let you go buy them because there's some account rep, blah, 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 wherever they're from. And your other brokers, the big ones, where they got brokers, they got salespeople, they got emails, they got load boards of their own. They're on DAT, they're everywhere. You may never even talk to anybody important. It's always an account rep, right? Like an account rep. And not that they're not good. You could get some really good. I know some people I know a guy that works at C.H. Robinson. He lives over here in Illinois. He used to be my guy and owner operator. He worked for him. Robert, we talk all the time. He's got one guy that's running him a C.H. Robinson, only on C.H. Robinson. And right now he's making anywhere from 6 to 65, 7 a week. And he's home just running C.H. Robinson with one guy. I know another guy that has 5 brokers like C.H. Robinson, and those 5 guys keep his one truck hopping like crazy, and he's cool with it. Okay, it works. If it's paying your bills, growing your company, then make that work. Build those relationships with those guys. But see, but other people, don't want to just sit there. They have a bigger plan, and they don't want to just sit there and have those five guys call every day and be like, "Yo, it's Joey at CH or Coyote. Where's your truck? Well, let me get some notes for you." Yeah, I get it. Those guys, there's no dispatching fee, right? Oh, there's my buddy. What's up, Frank? Missed you. How you been?
Ha, ha,
I
ha.
haven't seen you in a while. I sent you the link. I was like, man, and I see you're turning it up a notch. What are you
We
doing? What's going
we
on? I see
we
the hair's
have
looking
we
good.
have been busy, 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 busy. Mostly the shop. I started. It's like a routine you get into. So I started back going up to the shop because we don't have much help up there right now. Everybody's out running, running,
That's what I was
running.
wondering where you're at because you've been
Huh?
gone. You've
Oh
been like
yeah,
a ghost.
yeah. And everybody's been running, running, running around. Everybody's busy as shit. So I've been going up there. And yesterday I said, man, I gotta take a day off and recuperate. I'm using muscles I hadn't used since I was like 23.
Kind of look a little younger in the vibe right now with the hair all down, the hat, the bull snot going on.
I know, it's terrible.
I was messaging Shane last night. I was surprised you hadn't put it out there. I seen he's getting ready to flip the switch because I have all these. It's amazing. I got 5 drivers. I got drivers calling me right now. I got owner operators calling, all this stuff, and I seen Shane's ready to step it up again. He said the market's changing. He's opening it up and getting ready to add on a shit ton of trucks.
Yeah, it's there's stuff going on.
It
There's a lot of
is.
stuff going on out there. It's well, you and I talk about it all the time. For a lot of people, it really never has changed. And if you read
No,
all
they did
these
scale back a little bit. They
yeah,
slowed up.
if you read all these articles that these people are writing, and you turn on the TV, one of the cable news channels, you'll think the sky has fallen. I mean, you'll think it's coming. But did you see what the stock market did yesterday?
No, I was too busy
It,
working, trying to
it,
figure out how I'm going to dispatch, train people, fucking run a brokerage and do compliance whenever people don't fucking listen to you when you're telling them how to
look,
build lanes and network
man,
and
look
they
at
don't listen.
Charles. Charles got a new studio, man. Check him out. Look
Yeah,
at.
I know. Now I got to definitely get his address and make sure he gets a hat and a shirt since you haven't got one yet. He'll
Yeah,
have
I'll
one. It'll be
never get
funny.
one. Don't worry about me. I'm good.
You,
I'm making.
you can get one. You'll get one.
No,
Trust me.
I
Don't
don't
worry.
want one. Frank
Don't
bought a
worry about
machine yesterday. I'm gonna have merch, man. He's gonna start making our own T-shirts and shit.
Well,
That's all.
good. And I need one to put on the wall over here.
Okay, I'll get you one. I'll
Yeah,
get you one.
yeah.
And by the way, while we're all three on here, Charles, just so you know, if you wait on Shaggy to send you a shirt, you'll be walking around naked. You'll be
And,
standing naked out beside a
and you
dumpster
know what's
before
funny?
he'll ever
You,
send
you,
you
you,
anything.
you're
Hey,
saying I'll need a walker by the time I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
yeah.
what's funny too is like I got this shit sitting over there in the filing cabinet. I can show you the stacks of them, because I had them made like this. And unless I get so busy, like it's so busy doing this stuff between the taekwondo school and juggle and everything. You know how fucking hard it is to go to the post office and mail something. Like I got stuff here. I got envelopes all over the place for it already. Like going to the post office. I even got checks that have been sitting here from DAT for months.
Well, all
I,
I can tell
I, I
you is,
think it's props. I think it's props. I think it's just to make him look good.
yeah, that's some of that because Trucker G makes his all his little spice and stuff,
Oh yeah, good stuff.
and it's good stuff. He mails if he doesn't mail it out every day, his daughter does. I mean, whole boxes of all this stuff that he
Yep.
mails up. Eddie Dion, what up, Shaggy and Frank? How come you got Shaggy first in that? What's wrong with
I know. We were just talking about how you told me to be his friend again because I was pissed off at a time. Now he's back to me and we're like family again after you've been saying it forever.
if you've ever spent 5 minutes with Eddie, you can never be mad at him. I
I
mean,
know.
damn, that's like
Like, you remember I was telling you I'm going to hold out a little longer. I'm going to hold out a little longer, fucker. You know what I mean?
nah, you
So,
can't be
I was
mad at
mad.
Eddie. You can't
You
be
know?
mad at Eddie.
No.
You can't do
Yusuf,
it.
Yusuf wants to know what you guys do. He's new to the group. He asked, "Are you an owner operator, Frank?"
Who?
Yusuf, right here, one of our new followers, right here. He asked
Can
if
you?
you're.
No, Yusef. I am a wizard. If you look down here at my name, look, see right there. I am an actual.
You almost made me spit my drink out.
Listen, listen. I am an actual live in 2023 right here right in front of you. I am an actual wizard. I used to drive trucks. Now I just will them to go. I want them to go, and they go.
Wizard of bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he's the new modern trucking
Eddie
carrying
Dion, Wizard
modern.
of Bullshit. Eddie, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I was just then, like 2 minutes ago, taking up for your dumb ass. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We would call you Eddie Deleted instead of Eddie Dion. How's that? If your wife wasn't so sweet, probably nobody would like you. But
But
your
dude,
dog probably wouldn't even like you.
Kevin Grimes, the Wizard, Frank, man, everybody's popping in, guys. Hey, and today I was just talking about distractions. Today was like distractions, getting caught up, and with the work that's really involved. Me and Eddie been talking about it, like having a team, the hats, man. More and more that I'm bringing this dispatching back for my trucking part.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
oh my god,
But there's one question that's not been asked to you there, Shaggy,
yeah,
and everybody's bypassing it. And here's the
go
question:
for it. I love questions.
the question is, what makes you better than me going to getting a broker that's doing the load board and doing DHL?
Right now,
What makes you different and better than them?
so right now, if I so let's say I didn't have the brokerage, right? Or let's say I had the brokerage, because Frank will tell you he knows me that far back, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the brokerage and I didn't have the compliance company, or well, I wouldn't go back into dispatching or trucking without the brokerage, tell you the truth, just so you know,
Yep.
ever again. Because that was my mistake before, is I've always listened to Frank and different people. And before I was so caught up like everybody else running my 20 some odd trucks and dispatching 30 carriers up until 2017, the one mistake I did is every time a broker called or every time a shipper said the right thing or every time something happened, I left it on the table or gave it away. So number one, I'd go after the customers. If I was fully dispatching, I would be going after the customers, either using my clients or using my own. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Leverage it. So number two, so I would go after customers more and more, and then for my dispatching service, I've always charged a flat fee. And the reason why I've charged a flat fee is because I like running the same things. And people don't understand this all the time. And me and Frank talk about it all the time. Just like when I pulled up the load board. When I bring on a truck that lives in St. Louis, I immediately go from St. Louis to Kansas City to Indy, Indy to Chicago, Chicago to Nashville, Nashville, and I build 4 or 5 lanes. And then I work those lanes, and if the freight's not there, I still stay in those lanes and look for more people. So, like, if I didn't have 14 other fucking things to do and I had these two trucks running, I would be on the load board going through e-carrier check and finding every broker that's out there and call them up and be like, yo, Charles, hey, my name
Mhm.
is Shaggy, and I have these new carriers that are in this area, and I know a lot of brokers on the boards aren't using carriers, but I notice you're local in the same town or one of the cities I want. And I'm wondering what kind of freight are you guys having trouble with moving in volume in these lanes? And I would just start calling. And you'd be surprised just by doing that instead of working at today and tomorrow. But the problem is no one has time, Frank, to do it. We're already behind. Frank, we got to pay our bills. Our authority's active already. We can't sit tomorrow. So we go to the low board because, Frank, it's easy. Am I
Yeah.
wrong?
I don't know. I don't. The reason I'm not in the dispatch business, and Frank and I have talked about it a million times, is basically it's because I don't like people. And I don't want to talk to them on the phone and shit. I just don't. I mean,
But
if they could just call you up and go, okay, I picked up that load you gave me yesterday and delivered it this morning, and I got your text with my new load, so everything is good. That would be okay, but that's not what they do. They call you up and they go, my aunt Bessie's cousin Ralph is having surgery again tomorrow, and I'm probably going to have to go home for that and stay home for 2 weeks. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with drama. I can't deal with drama.
but see, when I dispatch, there's not a lot of drama. Like
I
I
don't
go in
do it.
this
I
other
don't
room.
do
I
drama. I
go
don't
in
want
this
to
other
hear it.
I
I don't
go in
want
this
to hear it.
see, and I go in this other room over here where I'm bringing on these new dispatchers today, and I walk in and they're talking about number one, and you tell them post what direction, so they go right to the board and post Chicago to Illinois, fucking Indiana or whatever. It's like so a broker doesn't like that. Or Frank, whenever Jr. calls people on the board and they don't know exactly where they want to go and they want to go anywhere and they run through that. Is that fun?
You know, it is kind of sort of fun if you've got somebody to work with that's a go getter. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
I mean, it can't. You know what I mean? It can
yeah.
be. It's interesting. It's like
No, no, no.
it's
Do
like
you
getting
want
up
people
every
to tell
morning
you?
and kind of and working a puzzle. You know,
But
it
whenever you're covering freight, do you want to call carriers and tell you what they want and get it done and get it moved, or you want to just play games with everybody?
no, I just email them out there and they go do it. That's it. That's all I want to do. And you know, we were driving along in the car the other day, and somebody said, "Well, you know, you're weird, man. You're this weird wizard guy. How come you don't even like people?" And I go, "Yes, I do. Yes, I do." And my wife said, "Well, who do you like?" And I was able to count them. I don't know if I
Was
don't
that
know if
on one
other.
hand or four or two or your feet? Did
It was
you like?
actually a little. It was 11 people. It was 10 plus one. Yeah. So I had to take his shoe off to get there. But yeah,
Must be the plus one.
that's it. That's it. But you know, she said, "Well, you don't really." I said, "That's not true. I like people. I really do." She said, "Well, who do you like?" And I said, "Well, you know, it was 11 people."
But more than I'm getting back into this dispatching and starting to become an alcoholic again.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So now I'm getting back into this because I have the ambitions to open my trucking company. I found out that I'm like the rest, and you can't run 5 businesses at once. How do you focus?
You can't.
Because I mean, you gotta. How do you have 5 leaders?
You know, here's something I learned a long, long time ago, and I don't know if you guys agree or not. Shaggy, you like to talk about like every day. You like to talk about diversify, diversify, diversify. I have always just tried to focus on my business because it's what I do best. It's what, and if I make a little money, I put it back into my business. I don't try to, recreate the wheel. I knew a guy that did that one time. He had a big brokerage, and he did all kind of stuff. He married this crazy woman, and she wanted to open up a weight loss clinic for a while. And I like Benjamin Franklin. I do. Bring me some, otherwise shut up. Anyway, uh, you know, his wife wanted to go in the weight loss business, and then they were filming pornos. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Uh, so I don't. You and Shaggy, you teach this in your webinars. Let all day, every day. When you go from being a company driver to an owner operator that's leased on somewhere, you have to add 2 or 3 more hats. You've
Yep.
got 2 or 3 more jobs. And then when you jump from that to getting your own authority and being a carrier, you're wearing 5 or 6 hats all day, every day.
No
So
different than what I'm doing right now.
yeah,
It's like,
so you're trying to do it multiplied by 3 or 4. You're trying to do 3 or 4 businesses and wear all the hats in those businesses. I'm here to tell you, for me anyway, just for me, I speak for myself like I always do. There's not enough hours in the day for me
yeah,
to do.
really, right. And so, and trucking's my blood. Like I'm the
Yeah.
trucker. I'm not the broker or the compliance guy. I'm the trucker. I love trucking. I love the people in the truck stop. I love the trucks. I like the smell. I can sleep with a reefer motor running, and I love it. I like the
Yeah.
taco trucks. I love Salinas. Me and Melissa's favorite thing in the world, if we never had kids again, would be to be in a truck driving all over the place. It was just that's what we do. We're truckers. So all this other stuff for me is different. So the trucking piece is what I love the most. But to do the brokerage and do the compliance and to do this consulting, helping all these people that are lost and confused that don't know how to build the product for what we do. I mean, I have so many owner operators that I can put on. I just sent some to Shane. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I'm going to put them on with Eddie, and I'm
You
going to
know,
put them
You're
on.
trying to wear 30 different hats at one
It's
time.
like I'm
well,
trying
yeah,
to bring it up because it's a missing piece, and it's like, man, I feel like my skeleton bones are coming out of my body.
yeah, I
And
can't.
what's
I
crazy?
just don't. And it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, I tried to be retired, kind of, sort of. A few years ago, I turned the company over to Frank, and really glad I did. But real quick, I mean, real fast, he kept layering on, and within a couple of months, I was just as busy as I was before. I mean, I was still, go go go
There's
go go.
Yeah.
there's so much work.
Yeah,
It's
and if I
crazy.
come in now, I've got a excuse me, I've got a motorcycle trip planned out west in September and latter part of
Where are
September.
we going?
He wants to start. A buddy of mine wants to start out. I don't know why. Tucumcari and then go up to Santa Fe,
I
and I'm
thought
not
you
sure.
weren't going.
Huh?
I thought you weren't going out there. We just made fun of that like last show. You said I ain't going out there. I'm
He
not paying
called
for it.
back. I'm gonna go. But anyway, I gotta buy a new motorcycle, but I'm going. But anyway, I'm gonna be gone, and I don't want to talk, and I don't want anybody calling me on the phone. You know what I mean? I'm gonna when I do that, it's like when I go fishing. Most of the time, I don't even take my phone. I just put it in the boat and
Shoot,
You see how he is. He
you
don't
know
love
when I
it.
ride my motorcycle, I pull over every 15 minutes because I don't like missing calls. Everybody's like,
I
"Hey, you
can't.
see Shaggy all over the place."
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
Unless it's the weekend.
I'm gonna ride. I'm not gonna ride the Spider. I'm gonna take a touring bike out there.
Yeah, I don't know what it's spider. That'd be a long ride on a spider, man. What the heck?
Yeah, yeah. That's not
I
for
don't know.
me.
I mean, that'd be fun for me. I mean, riding a spider.
Come by, I'll let you
Spiders,
ride
yeah.
mine.
Come over here and ride mine all you want to.
Ride
They
mine.
are cool
You'd
machines.
They
you'd
are
love it.
nice.
They're
Yeah.
You'd love
cool
it.
machines. But to take a trip like that, uh, man, I just want to strap my stuff on my Harley and just ride.
You
Yeah.
know, we were sitting in here yesterday, and every time these carriers come in, I had Terrence in here, and we're looking, and the guy's got his nephew. They got 9 trailers, and like 6 of them, 5 of them are sitting with weeds around them, and these are new trailers. And I'm sitting here, and he's in Chicago, and we're looking at this map where his truck parking lot is in Chicago, and around him, he's looking at all these customers that he delivers for everybody else, and he's walking in them. And then we're looking at this one guy, and he's in there. This one guy, Terrence was on the show live yesterday when I went live. Remember, he was in here, and Terrence is in here, and it's like this is his second go around on trucking. He's been around as long as us, and you look at how many people that have been in trucking as long as us that never have really made any money. We've always just paid the bills or got ahead, and we never got past that point. We've always been driving the trucks and have drivers. And you look at us, and he's got all these trailers, and every day we see tons of owner operators, kind of like Eddie, same situation. It's not that they're not making money, but they're dictated to their drivers. You're dictated when the trucks aren't running, you're driving, and you're always dictated to the low boards. You haven't got your brokerage. You haven't went after customers. When do we sit there and make the time to go get the money? Because you mean you calculate a trailer, his payments on his trailers, right?
Yep.
They're like 27, what was it, 3,500 a month. They're sitting there. I'm like, dude, people don't have trailers. That's $1,000 a month a trailer to any owner operator. 250 a week, he'll pay it. Or even if he did 800 a month for that guy and he maintains it. He's looking at like just off the trailers alone running on a minimum level, like $4,000 or $5,000 profit. That's like 50 grand a year that
Yep.
he's leaving on the table that somebody else will pay the maintenance for just because they want to be an owner operator and can't get the trailer somewhere else. And then
Yep.
you look at his product right now running local is 5 to 6. His product running regional is 6 plus because they go home every weekend and stuff. And he's catering to these guys that want to be home every night. And I'm like, but your business isn't working. You're on credit cards. You're on this. You're doing that. Why don't we change?
How many people, Charles? Charles,
Yeah.
here's a question for you and Shaggy. How many people, really and truly, how
Hmm.
many people that we talk to all day, every day, and I don't, I mean, I don't talk to, probably a tenth as many people as you do because that's just I just don't
I'm
do.
I'm nuts though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one guy.
It's like, yeah,
I
definitely.
saw one guy a few minutes ago, even on here, asked me for a number. So I mean, I don't. I just that's just not what I do. How many people? This is serious. I'm being very serious question.
Yeah.
How many people actually, really and truly, actually want to change? How many? R- really? How many? They'll
Out
call
of
it.
a group,
They're not
if
making
you're
any
just
money.
saying out of a group of 100,
Yeah.
I'd probably say probably 10.
Okay. I think that's fair. I
I
think that's
think
right.
it's. I think it's. I personally. Here's the thing. I think it's.
I'd say it'd be 10 to
I.
15 out of
I think.
100.
I personally think it's more than that. Hold on. I think it's more than that. I think it's a
All right.
little more. No, let's rephrase the question. I think they want to change, but they won't do it because even if they get the knowledge to do it, they're either behind because of the previous plan or what they put themselves into,
All right.
or they don't have the hats, anybody to help them to do it. And
Guy called
nobody,
me yesterday. No,
uh,
not yesterday. Day
That makes
before.
sense.
Sunday. Guy called me Sunday, and I'm not going to say any names, but he's a friend of ours, a friend of the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
Been doing this for years, and been doing it for more than 30 years. And he called me up, and just out of the blue, uh, he said,
They're scared.
I want to
Yeah.
ask your opinion on something, and I want you to tell me the truth. And I knew exactly where it was going. And I said, no, you don't. No, you don't. I said, listen, if you want to talk about, fishing, motorcycles, weird shit, call me up. I said, but you don't want to change anything, because if you did, you already know what my answer is going to be. You'd have already done it.
You'd already
No,
done
no, 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 no. I want you to talk to me straight and give it to me straight, and just hit me hard and tell me. I said, you're not you're not going to do this. I said,
it.
but okay. I said, at the risk of risking our friendship, which is way more precious to me than trying to give anybody advice. I said,
Yeah.
at risk, here you go. And I hammered him. I laid it out there. I said, stop doing this, stop doing it. And when you do it, you're doing it because I hear you say so. I
Yep.
said, stop doing this, stop doing this, start running. I said, get one of Shaggy's maps, stay in that Midwest area right there,
But they don't.
and you'll make money and you'll get home. I said, but before you called me, you already knew all that.
Yeah.
You already knew everything I just said to you,
Well,
but
why don't they
you're
do it?
not going to do.
But
And then he started. Then he
and I tell you
started.
what, they're afraid to, because they're afraid. They are scared.
Scared.
They're
That's
scared to change lanes because they already know they're in a situation now that's already got them
well,
running scared.
but I'm
And
still
then
paying
when
my
they
bill.
switch, they are really afraid of change
I hear it all
because
the time.
And
Well, I went to 3 people. I was trying to change. I made a few calls, and it didn't really work on
no,
those calls. You know
no,
what I mean?
they
Or
didn't try hard enough.
I know
no.
they don't work
I
it.
mean, this thing, and then he starts with the here we go. You guys are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Then he starts with the excuses stuff. Well, there's more to life than just making money. I said, well, why the fuck did you call me?
Yeah,
Why are
I
you
really
doing
don't
it?
want to work
Well,
that hard.
yeah,
I just
why are you doing? Well,
Then why are you in trucking if you don't want to do it?
yeah, I just don't want to
That's
be
the thing.
70 years old one day and look back on my life and say, well, I missed this. I said, don't call me. I said, when you call me about fishing or motorcycles or, stuff like that. I said, but don't, because you've been doing this 30 years and you're a very smart guy. And if you wanted to change, you'd have done it a long time ago. So I don't know why the fuck you're calling. If you just want to talk, you don't have to bring, trucking up to me. I like to talk about all kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
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 it's the
I
same
just
way.
think a lot of people are out there. A lot of people that we talk to all day, every day, are like him.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it's just it is.
They,
And
they,
it's
they
ask
want to
me,
hear it, but they don't want to do the sacrifice of doing the change because they're too afraid that something
well,
else may go wrong and end up putting them in the hole worse than what they are. But the whole name of the game is you. This industry is change, 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 change. You've got to be ahead of the game, not behind it.
always.
Always,
but
always
these
Yeah,
guys,
in the
call
trucking
everybody
a
industry.
like
lot of
that.
these guys, and we know these guys. You
Mm-hmm.
guys, what I'm talking about. They'll
Yep.
get in this groove, get in a groove, and it's really comfortable, nice and warm, and comfortable down there in that groove.
Yeah.
And everybody
And
and
they got a little bit of a cushion, so that they're
yeah,
thinking they're doing all right and they're doing great.
yeah, and they get in this groove. They're not coming out of that groove.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah,
will
so
just
like
like
my
this guy,
favorite
and he's
ones.
a very, very good friend of mine. Calls me up on a Sunday to help me out. What am I doing? Knowing damn good and well, knowing damn good and well that it
Yep.
was just a useless conversation.
Yep. Kevin's got it right there. I mean, he
Yeah,
does.
comfort zone, even if it kills them.
Yeah, it's like we know a guy. We
I
know
just
a
think
person
people.
over. Dude, we know a really good friend that's known my whole story, and I trained his daughter. She dispatched good. Man, that girl was unbelievable. She came in. It was only in there like 2 days, and I showed her a few things. Next thing you know, I'm sitting over there watching her run my trucks. I'm like, they like this girl, Then she works for her dad's company with the mom in there, and they're only running 4 or 5 trucks, right? And all these people are involved in family, but the owner of it's always driving the truck. He's driving too. And then they got company trucks. So they bring on a couple owner operators. So we're playing load boards. We go back. Shaggy talks about building networks, walking in customers. A couple customers say no. So we don't do it no more. And then he's driving, the wife's here. They're going over there. Daughter's helping. And then they call you and they tell you how bad it is. Now they're selling trailers. This is down. They're not using owner operators. It's like, but you know that if you walk in their office and you sit down and you look at their load boards and you see how many posts are out 30 to 60 days telling Frank what they need, so that way when Frank's guy does fall off, he can find somebody quick and get it done if he was slacking and don't have enough in the database. Or what if all 11 of Frank's friends, all carriers for the last years, are all busy? How does he get somebody quick if you don't tell him what you want? It's like everybody,
Exactly.
you look at all this and you see this, and everybody's like complaining about these people because they should give them what they want. Everybody's complaining about whatever people aren't bidding. Everybody's complaining about what this guy's not doing. But why don't we fucking care about ourselves and actually tell people what we want, start networking, know our numbers, and build a product?
I just don't. I honestly, I just don't think. I don't know. You guys tell me. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I just don't think.
I
You
know,
know,
I know.
Charles, you said it. Nobody wants to change. Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody gets in that thing and is comfortable.
But I'll probably piss off a couple of drivers with what I'm about to say. But
Huh.
it's the deal that they're not worried about themselves, but they rather sit there and worry about someone else. And that's the problem. You can't just worry about, oh, I'm here. I can help you out and I can tell you what you're doing wrong.
It's
Look
like,
in the mirror and see the same effects. What you're telling him is what you need to be doing in the first place. So giving someone else the advice and you're not taking it, you're not helping yourself. You're just making it worse on yourself because now you're kicking yourself in the teeth, going, "All right, I just gave this guy the advice that I need to be taking, and he's doing it. I'm not, and
it's,
he's yeah."
it's the same thing that's happening
It's
with
a
me
lose
right
lose
now.
situation. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't take your own advice and listen to what you're saying.
That's the same thing that's happening to me right now. I have to. Frank told me for 2 years, "You're fucking up." I'm like, "Why am I fucking up?" Because people like me and Frank when we do shows. And for 2 years, Frank's yelled at me saying, "Let's do Wednesday night," and I put it off. Let's do the morning, and now it's that. Oh, not that I don't want to do it. It's that I'm trying to juggle so many things. I'm forgetting about what worked and got us where we're at and what we're not doing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And so
exactly.
now I'm preaching about dispatching. It's not that my dispatching stuff don't work because we can have 100 people in chat say it does, right? That I
Yeah,
teach. They'll tell you we hear it every day. The problem is how does one guy do all these things? And actually, that's the problem. It's not that they're scared. How do I do it? Like, how do I physically get that person? Because now that I've been doing this forever, Frank, I sit here and I call all these foreigners, right? I hear all these foreigners that are blowing up my phone, all these foreigners that are working in these brokerages now, and I can find a virtual assistant right now for like $150 a week. That virtual assistant will blow the phones up of everybody known to man, no matter what, and pester the hell out of them, and they won't get off track. You set up the program, they will work like crazy. You know how hard it is to get somebody here to come in and go and say, "Do this,"
yeah,
and you're mad about those people here doing it, but we're not doing it.
Well, Frank
yeah,
hits me up every once a week with, "Hey, Dad, why don't we do this business? Why don't we get into this?" And I go, "Okay, here's my deal. It's real simple. I don't mind investing in something. I don't mind, uh, getting involved, learning something new. I don't mind doing that. But here's the catch: as long as it's just you and me, and we don't have to have any employees, I'm good to go." Now, there you go. There you go.
yeah.
I don't know how people are doing this. I know it's a little different subject. I don't know how people are doing anything these days because I'm just going to tell you, and I know I'll make some people mad now. I'm going to tell you right now, people are lazy as fuck and they don't want to work.
And you want to know how that happened? That happened in the last 20 years because they've sat there and put it in everybody's head. Hey, you can get someone to do that for you. You
Yeah,
can get someone to do that for you. So
I still
now,
think,
Now
so
it's
the
not even a
mental game
virtual
has been
assistant.
trained that hey, you can get someone to do that. No, 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 you really can't because it's you on the line and you know what you want and you're the one that's going to have to force the
I
issue to
saw a
get it
post
done.
on Facebook the
And
other
that's
That's
the
not
day, and
problem.
happening right now.
it was a meme. And here's what it said: next time you go to an interview, when they ask you what you know how to do, instead of answering that, ask them, "Why do you have a job opening and why did the last person quit?" And
No shit.
so
Yeah,
my response
Oh
to
yeah.
that, was before you come in my office with that attitude, go ahead and call 911 before you come in the door, because my old fat ass will throw your ass through a window. Come in there with that attitude to my place, and I will throw you. Or people get on social media and they go, looking for a job. I can only work from 9 to 3 during the day, and I require $24 an hour. Hit me up. And I'm thinking, what do you do? What do you bring to the table?
What are you skilled at? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what
What's
are
your
you
skills?
what skills do you have? That's not it. They don't give a shit. They think they're doing you a really big favor by showing up. They do. They do. And even I tell you what, it's even in a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot. If you go through a fast food drive-through, it's got no point. Those people think they're doing you a favor to hand you a hamburger and charge you
Yeah,
And
$9.
now they all want tips.
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Like the
it's like they're
subway
doing
one.
you some big favor. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. But the difference between us and the Japanese is that right there,
Yep.
right there, right there. The difference between us and the Japanese is the Japanese understand servitude. They want to make their customers happy. They will stand on their head and spit nickels to make a customer happy. And in this country, we just plain old don't give a shit, and it shows up.
No, yeah,
It
because in the
shows up.
last 20 to 30 years, our standard of quality and putting your hard-earned pride into what you do has gone out the window.
No,
Because
yeah,
it's hey, who cares about pride? Just get it out the door. It's just it's mass produced. And
yeah,
then when you sit and tell them, well, hey, if you can put your pride into it and put your whole heart and soul and work into it, your work ethics, I can pay you that $24. You got to prove it to me. And they're like, no, I deserve it. You don't, no. You ain't going to sit there and I don't have to prove nothing to you. Problem is, that's the whole reason. You're not proving what you are worth, and I can't pay you what you're not worth. I'm
yeah.
not going to pay you $24 when you're only worth 12.
I just plain old don't want to. And this
Plain and
started.
simple.
This started about 20 years ago. We had a guy in one of my trucks get emptied down in Atlanta, and he called my dispatcher. And Frank was just a kid, but he was sitting there next to him. He called the dispatcher and he goes, "Yeah, I'm empty down here in Atlanta. If you ain't got something for me in the next 10 minutes, I'm coming home."
That right there, that's another thing.
And the dispatcher turned around and told me that. I said, "Tell him to come on."
My favorite part too is
Yeah.
my truck only operates at this so much per mile, and I'm like, every load.
Yeah,
Yep, I gotta have it every load. I'm
yeah,
like, so that's your problem. They're like, why is that my problem? That's my rate. I didn't have a rate, but not every load pays that way. Build
No.
a product with it both ways.
Yeah.
You know
So
how
this
hard
guy,
that is to
I
do
told
for
this guy
people?
to come on in. He got there right before we closed up. Came in there. Yeah, I ain't sitting around. I said, "Clean your truck out. We're done."
Yeah.
Well,
How
what
do
do
you
you mean?
justify
I
cheap
said, "You
rate?
go out and spend $150,000 for a piece of equipment. You buy this office. You hire all these people. You pay for the insurance. You pay for and then you tell me when you're going to go and when you're not going to go. Between now and then, clean your truck out and go somewhere else." And I called a friend of mine down in Nashville, a wholesaler. I said, "You want this truck?" "Hell yeah." I said, "Come and get it." And every time for about a month, every time a driver pissed me off, I told him to clean his truck out and sold his shit. And finally, Frank came in there one day and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this.
Um,
I don't want to be around, these entitled, gimme
Yeah.
people, or people are going to tell me how to run my business." I said, "I'm not interested. I'd rather pick up
And
aluminum cans on
here's
the
the other
sidewalk."
thing is, and then here's the other thing is, it's all right. Well, if you ain't got nothing for me, I'm leaving. Well, are you paying for that fuel?
Yeah,
Because yeah, because that's coming out of my pocket. You're burning my fuel to go
no,
wherever you want. No, you don't make that decision.
no.
man,
You know,
I love hearing, I love hearing.
and if you're
Wait,
good enough, and you ain't got to worry about calling the dispatch and going, well, hey, do you got a load? Yeah, I already got a load. Did you not check your email? It's already sitting there.
This
It's been
stuff's
there
so
for the last
fascinating.
12 hours.
This stuff's so fascinating to me because I was smart enough to only do owner operators and lease purchase. So it's like, you quit. You're gone.
Yeah.
You know what I
you
mean?
know,
Just tell me when to turn.
the way I got from people not taking our advice, or people that don't want to change, don't want to make changes. Candace, what up, my girl?
Long
What's
time
up,
no see.
Candace?
Damn. The way I got from that to people don't want to work is, I think that some of it, I think that some of that's kind of related to each other. I really do.
I do too.
People, a guy came into Ricky's shop the other day and he was looking for a driving job. And he sat down. He said, "Well, we need to talk about a few things. Now, I don't do this, and I don't do this, and I don't do this." And I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this? Who's interviewing who?"
Yeah.
I said, "You need to get the fuck out." And he looked at me like, "What?" I said, "Get the fuck out." I said, Ricky's gonna spend $75 getting a drug test and all that. I said, waste of time, waste of money. You're not gonna be happy. We're not gonna be happy. Just get the fuck out of here.
This guy called me last night from a lady and he's like, "Hey, are you dispatching? I want you to make me some money." And I'm like, "Okay, so how much do you need to pay your household bills after your trucking company?" His wife's over there. "You need like $16,000. He's like, "No, I need eight." Eight. I'm like, "So before you even run your trucking business, you already need $8,000 to $16,000 a month to pay your bill, and you have one authority and one truck, right?" And he said, and I looked at him and said, "You're already done." He says, "How can you say that to me? Because you can't afford yourself." I'm like, "Go get a turnip and squeeze that motherfucker and see how much can come out of it."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like,
You're needing
"What
eight
do
to
you mean?"
60,000. I mean, before your company. I
And
mean,
I
come
said,
on.
"How much money are you wanting to make a week?" He says, "I need to make $10,000 a week. That's what I was doing." I said, "I hear that story every day. Why are you calling me? Because I'm not making $10,000 a week." Well, obviously that's the story. And I said, "Number two, where's your diversity come from? Where are you going to have breakdowns? Your wife got $1 million job?" And I said, "So where's your plan? Where's your diversity come from? What are you doing? How are you building a product running $10,000 a week? Because you're never in the same place twice and you never know where you're going next." And he's like, "Who is this guy?" And his wife's like, "That's the dude I took the scoop from with the guys that do the show, Frank and all them." And all that stuff. Her name's Elizabeth. And I'm like, "So they were supposed to call me back last night because now he has a reality check." And I'm like, "He's wanted to, you can't even afford a dispatch fee."
And here's the thing. What? How'd you get in a situation to be sitting there having to have $8,000 to $16,000 just to survive? I mean, what do
Even
you
if
got?
it's
What do
eight,
you
even
got?
if it's eight in this market, if you're building a
$4,000
trucking
house payment
company,
a month?
but even in this, people have problems. It goes back, and everybody wants to be king. Dude, you hear it all the time. So you think about it and you look at it. A lot of these guys, if you're in this business with no diversity and you don't have multiple streams of income to cover you, and your debt's over so much, you're already fucked with your authority.
Yeah, you're already screwed. You're not even going to get out the door when you.
No,
Yeah,
that's my problem now. I'm in the same boat as one of those guys, but I had more businesses going on and stuff changed faster than I could. So it's not that I can't build it back. It's just I'm doing it in pieces. I'm dumb. I'm not listening to Frank where Frank said, "Work one thing really good." I always have to be the stupid guy that does four.
yeah. Well, we know, but you're that high strung guy, so you're like, hey, I can do it.
That's why I
I
look
can
like
do
this.
all
I
this.
have to just fucking put IVs in my hat. I need to like put a straw.
Yeah. What,
Not
what, is,
me, baby.
what is do you like the Matrix? We'll just plug you in and call
What a
you good.
nightmare.
What a
Not me.
nightmare!
But hey, guys,
Guy.
it's time for me to go. I can feel breakfast coming on.
Man, I can smell it.
Listen to Frank. I can feel breakfast coming on.
Yeah.
What are we having for breakfast, Frank?
I don't whatever I go down there and make because I don't see or smell anybody down there doing anything.
Jonathan says he used to dispatch a guy at his OTR and didn't want to do more than 200 miles a day. Holy fuck, man. That guy's gone.
Well, this guy I was telling you about that would not run at night.
Well, I
I don't
don't take
care where I'm at or what
Well,
I'm doing. When it gets dark, I'm shutting down. Jesus Christ,
well,
this
you've
guy.
already you've already dealt with one of those already. Well,
Yeah.
you didn't, but yeah, Ricky did. And then, oh, I don't run on weekends neither. I'm doing a 34-hour reset.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When they could have been back and had the load off and been grabbing another load and
Well,
going.
see, you talk about difference. I don't want to bring on a guy that don't want to have a restart on the weekend.
I just
But you want to have a restart during the week?
I know I want every
if
guy I
I can
want. I
find
want him to
guys
run. I want him
that
home on
get
the
it.
weekend.
If I can find guys that get it, and you could get loads and give them to them, and they just go do the loads, then that's good. But I know in my heart and experience tells me that I'm going to have to babysit these fucking guys. I'm going to have to beg them to do shit. I'm going to have to twist their
Sweeten the
arm.
deal.
I'm going to
Yeah.
have to explain myself, 8 times a fucking day, and I'm
Why
not
are we
doing
going
that.
here? Because we're going over to St. Louis. Because when you get to St. Louis,
I'm
I'm
not
going
doing
to
that.
to
I'm not
Cleveland.
doing
Then
that.
you're going to go for Cleveland. You know what I
I'm not
mean?
doing that. I mean, God made you, God bless you, and fuck you. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I am not.
Kathy's in there laughing at me. How do you like dispatching now? And I'm like,
I'm not doing it. I'm not begging people to work. I'm not going to sit here and explain trucking to people all day. I'm just not going to do it. I
yeah,
don't
I
want
agree with Nicholas.
But here's
Yeah.
but here's another thing. You know, some of these guys are so much of being with megas that they want to be babysitted. No, I'm just saying they've gotten in that routine to being babysitted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but those guys are like jobs. They go to work, they do their thing. That's all they want to do. They have no
You're,
ambitions. You're not on here. They
no,
laugh at
yeah,
half the stuff going on.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't have that ambition no more. I hate to say it, in this industry of 80%, I would say 80% of the new people in the last 10 to 15 years have no ambition on doing any more than what they have to.
That's it.
And that's a problem because trucking is one, it's an adventure. Two, you got an open window to anywhere in the country to see that you normally wouldn't have and be able to stop and do things. And then three, you have a opportunity of making more money than you've been ever making if you play your cards right.
If you honestly, Charles, honestly, if you just do the job, really,
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah,
you don't. I mean, you don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to stand on your
No.
head and spit nickels. You don't have to be a miracle worker. Just get out there and do the
do it.
job, and you will make a living. You and I, all three of us, we know guys that do it, and they do
Frank,
really
when
well.
you first met me, and you met that either Eddie or Eric or John or Ed. I don't remember which guy. It's either the black truck or the white one. I can't remember which one you first met me with. And you
White
called
one.
me that time the white one. That was Ed. And so Ed, those guys, they ran between Kansas City and Ohio. They never stayed. They ran the Midwest and back up. And everybody laughs, but I ran you when you met me. I was in that office. Was I there after 5 and 6 at night? Nope. And was I there on the weekends? Nope. I had all the dispatching going. We were doing all this stuff. And I don't understand why people can't build a product and get assisting. Most of the time, my guys were booked by Friday and they were booked till Tuesday, and I was gone. And on Monday, I started the rhythm again. Every week, it was the same thing. You come in, you do it, you set it up, you go. And we would give them the rate cons. I'd call them at 4 and say, "Hey, Charles, did you get them? Did you actually open them up? You read them. This is the plan. Go do it." And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And the only time we had problems was when there was a discrepancy or something happened, and then we
You know
adjusted and
what?
changed.
This thing that we do, seriously, guys. I mean, it's not like we're building nuclear reactors in the
Bro.
basement. It's trucking, and
Yeah.
and and these guys, all these things that I see on social media was nobody loves me. They don't nobody respect me. They don't like me. I don't. Oh fuck!
Hold on.
Please,
You gotta
please,
give respect to get
yeah,
respect. And
please,
that's the
Well,
big.
problem.
what business do they
Please stop
respect anybody in?
whining.
People
Please
don't
stop
respect the fast
crying.
food workers. People don't respect factory
You
workers.
know,
We're all the same. It's a job.
every week I
It,
make a sacrifice. Bitch, you're driving a truck, not a minesweeper. Shut the fuck up and go do your job. And by the way, it used to be, because I've been around long enough to know, it used to be that being part of this industry and being considered good at it was a
mhm.
fucking privilege.
Yes.
It and it
And it has its rewards
and
because
it
when
has a
you were
lot
good
of
at it
rewards.
and you
But
had a lot more respect, you had a lot of drivers looking up to you and
yeah,
wanting to talk and
I
learn
always
from
looked
you.
up to them. I always thought
You don't
truckers
get it.
were.
I
You
just
thought truckers were what?
I always envied them for what they did out there working, but today it's a whole nother world.
oh
Strong
god.
Right.
truckers,
A
like you
bunch of
just see.
crybabies, and they wonder he's getting paid to make that sacrifice.
Yeah.
Been married for 44 years. I got 6 kids. They grew up, and everybody was like, I miss this and I miss. I went out and back. Even when I went. Okay, Kevin. Truckers are kids. Truck drivers are real.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've been doing this for 45 years. And back when, if you called somebody a trucker, that was an insult. That was like that guy you see on the cartoons with the big feet. Keep on trucking. That's who that was. And
Yeah.
the truck driver knew what the fuck he was doing and did his job. Anyway, these guys now, all God, what a How did this country come to that? Where we're just a nation of whiners. I don't, man, you're not going to make it in this business if that's your attitude. I can tell you that.
But
I
that's what
can't.
built the
Shaggy
country. The
can't.
country
Charles
being
can't.
disabled.
Shaggy can't. Charles can't. I can't. The three of us together have no formula that if you don't want to make changes and you don't want to do the work, the three of us together cannot come up with a
Oh, we
formula
could bring in
that,
Ferris.
that
We
you'll
could
be
bring in
successful.
shit Anderson. We could bring in guys that have been doing this forever and give you 100 tips. We could bring in half the crew that I love to death on Charles's Lefty show.
Yeah,
Those guys are freaking wise. You know, you listen to those guys. You know,
yeah,
you put it all in there, and you could bring in Kevin Grimes. You could bring in Jonathan Trimble. We could bring in a fucking panel that's
yeah,
on steroids, and
yeah,
everybody would sit there and go, "Well, those guys are kind of fucked up and don't know what they're
yeah.
talking
They'll
about."
they'll, they'll
And three other
listen to
people.
you. They'll listen to you and they'll shake their head, they'll nod their head, and then they'll walk away and look at their buddy and they'll go, "Oh, a bunch of bullshit that was. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I
Yeah,
don't
no.
care.
Go
I
back to
want
that
to
guy
sell
on
trucks."
YouTube that's got the fancy shit that drives the whatever, telling you everything, but he's not doing nothing.
Yeah.
And they work good. It seems to work for everybody else.
All right, guys. Hey, it's Tuesday. Peace out.
Yeah.
Don't
Hey,
you have
Frank.
a show tonight?
Yeah, I got a show tonight. Tonight. I'm gonna talk about. You guys tune in. We're gonna talk
Cool.
about contracts. Maybe boring to somebody, but if you don't know your shit when it comes to contracts, they can take all your shit away from you. So we're gonna
That's like
talk about that tonight.
that's
All
a
right.
big one.
Good night,
Yeah.
guys.
Where do you go and do it though? You didn't tell all these people that are running through the video where they go because they can't. They can see it in my group when you share it over, but how do they find it?
I'm gonna share it over. That you can get it on Shaggy's, you can get it on G3 Trucks and Freight, G3 Marketing Group, or you can go to Frank G Trucks on YouTube. I'll be there.
Yep. And I'll share it over into my groups too.
Thank you, Bug. Hey, see y'all tonight. See you later.
Later.
See you, Frank.
Well, we've been on here over an hour, which is crazy because people are still pouring in or rolling through and they like it. So
Yeah.
got to keep.
We hit a good topic.
It's a great time. Well, I started it off really good with those guys when we first started because I was talking about what they don't do. And the only reason I'm saying it is because I'm sitting in a room trying to rebuild my dispatching and I have to juggle all these hats.
Yeah.
And I should be in here at 7 in the morning. I should be calling, I don't have the time to do it for my poor carriers I committed to. I should be on there going, "Hey, Charles, hey, this is Shaggy. I noticed you got loads in these lanes. What are they? Where are they going? How many do you have? Do you guys have a dedicated network? Or you guys already just put it on the load board?" I should be doing that all day long in the lanes that I want. And then I should be on e-carrier check like I was showing them going through those brokers that have been in business longer than a year or two. We'll talk about, and I'll even call some of the newbies because they don't have no carrier base and I'm smarter than they are and tell them what to go sell for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Why don't we do that? You know what I mean? And if I was to go and what makes me different, if I was to go open my trucking company and do it all again, which I will, is just getting these final pieces together to do it. And I don't understand why we don't want to do that. I don't understand why one situation comes from a driver that we don't reconstruct them and tell them what they need to do, but we cater to what they want.
Because
But they don't even know.
because they think it takes too much time and it's too hard for them to do.
It does take
Because
time.
they're
It's hard
trying to drive. Yeah, because they're trying to drive the truck and it takes
But it
too much
does take
time.
time. Like, especially, I tell you, man, I got to go back to anybody. Like, I used to think back in the day, you call up Charles and say, "Yo," like 2 years ago, you call up Charles and say, "Yo, man, hey, and what that load you got posted, the one I did last time?" And he's like, or calling a load, and they're like, "Hey," I'm not talking about the 30 days in business, the 60 days, the 90, the 1 year, the 6 months, and all that bullshit. I'm talking about the process of the security fraud where they're protected through RMIS and all these guys.
Yeah.
All these big brokers have these codes and all this stuff, man. That's the part that gets hard now. It's like used to you filling out a broker packet. Shit, I could do 18 in a minute.
Yeah.
Read. Look for. I used to just go through the broker packet, look for subjects I've never seen before in the contract, and then I always read the Raycon and then read the secondary stuff to make sure they're not sticking no weird shit in there about detention times and stuff. If there was, I highlight it, mark it off, initial it, send that motherfucker back, sign the Raycon, and then and then I always take time to verify the shipper receivers to make sure the broker's not lying about appointments. To go and do that process every time in the packets, I understand how much frustrating it is because those packets are a little harder. Because my problem is not booking the loads and juggling all my hats right now. My problem is doing the paperwork
Yeah.
And if I don't have people that are going to do what I tell them to do or follow what I do, and they want to be cocky with me, and I'm the one with the fucking experience, then we have a
Yeah.
serious fucking problem. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you do. And it's messed up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking stupid. I got carriers up in Chicago that are running trust in my business that are only got $4,000 in a week, and you already know if the motherfucker don't make 72 or 7,000 plus or 6,500, he's not even going to be here. And you're like, well, I'm just going to keep dispatching him. It's the best we got. I hope he makes it.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest shit you'll ever
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
But if you go and tell people or help people or want to show them and say follow what I need, no one wants to listen. So it's like, how is that different than when you're consulting people and they pay you to train you, and then you talk to them a month later and you're like, what'd you do different?
Yeah. And they don't give you anything.
They
No.
didn't do anything. You're like, well, we tried to do that, but I got a little busy. We had a truck breakdown. I was going to get focused back on that. This happened. The wife had to go do this. And it's like, but why are you here telling me why you're hurting?
Yeah. You need to
Figure it
be
out.
doing what you were trained to do. Yeah. Use that to your advantage.
Yeah, so now I've learned that unless these other three businesses are going like they're supposed to, it's literally impossible for me to like. I can file the MC number, I can add on owner operators, I can do the liability, I can add the cargo later, I can add 9 owner operators this year.
Yeah.
I even know where the damn trailers are that I don't even need credit or money to get just because people have them sitting. And
Yeah.
they'll give them to me to use to rent with my owner operators rather than sit them because they can't do it themselves right now. But the problem is if I don't have 2 people that follow what I say, that are calling brokers ahead of time, that are getting the lanes, finding out what's going on, but they don't.
Mhm.
They sit there waiting for the one load to pop up. Sometimes you got to let the truck hold up and go
Yeah.
find the freight ahead of time that doesn't fit the script and build it.
Yeah.
But we don't want to, do we?
No. Yeah.
Why is it so hard? It's not that hard.
It's
I mean,
not.
time management is the hard part, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's I just don't understand why it it's like me. I had to change lanes. I'm out of work. I had to change lanes. Now, what I did have going, now I get to do full time, which means now I got to wear three different hats now to sit there and get what I got going on and make it bigger, better. So yeah, I'm having to diversify on what
That's
I'm
why you're
doing.
missing shows between the medical and doing all this. That's why you're missing shows. You're not doing consistent. You can't do the stuff you want to do because you
No, and
got to
then
do it.
people walk off and they lay off to the sideline because they're like, oh, well, ain't got nothing, so we ain't got to do nothing.
Well, we got to go to work because I'm
Yeah,
behind. I got meetings
you got
coming
to
in.
go to work,
We
and I
might-
got things to do too. So
I do.
yeah,
I'll
but
see
I'll holler at
everybody.
you later on this evening about tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
I don't know, and I got to see if I can do it because I don't know we always do the taekwondo school at night.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
really involved in it, so I don't know. We may have to go after 8 or 9.
that'd be fine.
Yeah, we'll do it later. I'll do it with you though. We'll go live.
All right,
All right.
later,
Later,
Shaggy.
brother. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. What a great show we had. I'm sorry we went an hour and 14 minutes. I really don't want to go that long. I try to keep it down to 30, 40 minutes so you guys can get the gossip and stuff. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, if you need help with your business, my phone number is right there on the screen. You can't miss it. You can find Lefty over on his show. What's that show again?
Left lane with lefty. I do it every Sunday.
Yep.
Which we
Yep.
might be changing that up too. Now that we got more free time, I'm able to get more information, and we may be we're going to try to do at least 2 shows a week now because I have more time and to be able to boost my ability of being able to get out there a lot more. So yeah,
Awesome. And they can find that everywhere. Just type it in.
yeah,
All the
just type it
platforms.
in and just type it in, space it out. If you want to find the main page, it's left lane with lefty, and you'll pull it up. It'll be our main page. And then if you want to find the group, do the same thing. It'll pull up group or page. So, yep.
All
And you
right.
can find me everywhere. See you guys.
Cool. Yep. And like I said, my phone number is right there. Website shaggyconsulting.com. If you guys need one-on-one in-person training help, learning the stuff that we talk about, just give us a call. We'll be glad to help you. Peace out. Have a great day. And we all love you. Peace.